Good morning. Have to make sure it's morning. I'm from the East time zone, so have to make sure it's morning. And I've got this clock in front of me in 5 minutes. And if you talk to any of my colleagues or anybody I've worked with, they would tell you that I'm one of those guys that gets paid by the word. So I've got to keep this condensed. My number one idea to help your credit union be successful into the future is going to be to pay your top performers significantly more than everybody else. I said that slowly for a reason. Dr. Seuss has a quote that's been attributed which says, sometimes the questions are easy. Actually, I'm sorry. Sometimes the answers are easy and the questions are hard. This is one of those where dissecting that statement is extremely hard. So let me go back and say it again. Number one, pay your top performers. Let's stop there. Top performer. What does that mean? Does it mean someone above average? Or does it mean that top percentile? Does it mean that top 20%? Does it mean the top 10%? So pay your top performers. I would submit, identify the top 20 or 10%. There's a law, I put that in quotes, called Price's Law. And it says that half the work of your organization is done by the square root of the number of people in your organization. Put that another way. I have an organization of 400 people. The square root of 420. I had to do that math really simple because I'm not quick on stage. 20 people in a 400-person organization probably do half of the work that that organization does. Okay, so identify your performers. The second part of that is really difficult as well. What does top performance mean? If I'm a credit union, I've got a number of different roles. A lot of you are board members. I've got a CEO who is my employee. I've got commercial lenders. I've got mortgage lenders. I've got tellers. So let's take a teller as an example, or an MSR, MSO, whatever the phrase you use in your organization. Top performance. If I arbitrarily define that as the number of transactions that they complete in a given period of time, an hour, and they balance at the end of the day, it's a teller. That's my top performer. Well then, Herbert the Horrible, who no one wants to go to, who cranks through transactions like you would not believe, under that standard would be your top performer. Or I could look at a different metric, which now with the advent of data and AI and all of these tools is possible. I could look at something like what the NBA uses, which is player efficiency rating, which says, I don't necessarily care how many points a given individual makes or how many assists a given individual makes. I care that when that player is on the court, our team has a higher chance of winning, a higher probability of winning. And that's hard to do. You have tellers who know their members, who know how to introduce other services the credit union employs to help our members, who is able to make that conversation and bridge that gap and make that happen. So again, it is very hard to figure out what high performance is in certain roles. And then pay them substantially more. What is substantially more? Your highest performers in your credit union, the MSOs who do the best work, best for the member, best for the credit union, the mid-level managers who take care of managing staff and keeping staff happy, addressing their needs, motivating them. They're worth, according to data, 4 times more to your organization than your average performer. Not even talking about your bottom performer. They're worth 4 times more than your average performer. So what does significantly more mean? Now, I have a session later today. We're going to go into great detail on a lot of this. I hope some of you can attend. But the 3 things I'd leave you with, number 1, identify what performance is in your organization. 2, identify who is performing at that level and who is at the highest level. And 3, figure out how to compensate them significantly more. And that's my idea for you to take away from this conference. Thank you for your time.